Good morning, students. Now we will be starting with the chapter 2, that is chemical bonding. Now, first of all, we need to understand that why the atoms go for forming the chemical bonds or the compounds. So why they are going? They are going just for the for attaining the stability, that is the attaining the stable configuration, that is duplet in the case of helium electron or helium atom, or the octet, to complete its octet. Now when they are doing so, they will forming a chemical bond, and this they form a bond that is called a chemical bond. And what it is the force of attraction between any two atoms in a molecule to maintain stability. When they want to maintain the stability, then chemical bonds can be formed by the three methods, that is first electrovalent, that is done by the complete transfer of electrons. One or more electrons transferred forming the electrovalent bond, whereas covalent bond is sharing of two or three pair of electrons, whereas coordinate bonds are formed when the shared pair are contributed by only one of the combining. Whichever compound is being formed, only one of the combining atom will be contributing its shared pair of electron. Now we will be discussing about the electrovalent bond in detail. Now, for electrovalent bond is also called ionic bond. Why it is called ionic bond? Because ionic bond is in this case the ions are being formed. Now in this case both the atoms are of metallic. One of the atom is metal, whereas other will be non-metal. Right? So one of the element which is metallic element, it will be losing the electron, forming the positively charged ion called the cation, whereas the other non-metallic element will be accepting the electron, forming the negatively charged ion, that is the anion. Now the cation and anion both are oppositely charged, so opposite charges, they will be having some kind of attraction. Therefore these type of bonds compounds are stable. Why they are stable? Because when ionic compounds are formed by the ions only, and the same charges if they are having, there will be a repulsive force, whereas if they are of the opposite signs, opposite charges, there will be a force of attraction between them. Therefore they will be forming an electrovalent or ionic bond. Now what is the definition? It is the bond formed between metal and non-metal ion, right? Metal and the non-metal. Now electrovalency is the number of electrons that an atom of an element loses or gains to form a covalent bond. So that is how many number of electrons are being lost or gained. Like for example, in this case one electron is being lost to form the one is lost and one is gained, so electrovalency will be 1 of both. Now what are the conditions? Now conditions required for the electrovalent compounds to be electrovalent bond to be formed is, first is the low ionization potential. Now what is ionization potential? It is the energy required to remove an ion to form a positively charged ion. Now if of a metal this tendency is low, that means energy required to remove this electron is low, that means easily the atom will be formed into a cation. So therefore low ionization potential will be favoring electrovalent bond to be formed. Whereas in second case, if we see that it is giving high electron affinity. Now what do you mean by electron affinity? It is the attraction towards the electron, that is how well this atom will be accepting the electron or gain the electron, accept the electron to form this anion. How easily it is doing? So that will be depending on the electron affinity. More it has the attraction towards the electron, easier will be the formation of this. So this again will be favoring the electrovalent bond. Now the last is large electronegativity difference. Now electronegativity difference means this metal will be having low electronegativity, whereas if it is a non-metal, it will be having more or higher electronegativity. So if the electronegativity difference is too much high, then it will be forming an electrovalent bond. Now we'll go for the electron dot structure. Now electron dot structure, what we have to remember is that both the atoms, whichever different atoms we are talking about or we are writing, we have to use various signs for representing their electrons. It has to be different, not the same. Now for examples, NaCl is being formed. So Na, first of all we have to know that outermost electrons are to be written only, not the whole configuration, all the electrons are not to be mentioned here. So only we will be writing the outer valence electrons in each case. Now sodium is having 1, chlorine 7 electrons. So 1 electron transferred here, forming this type of compound, that is Na will be having plus sign and Cl will be having a negative charge, right? Cl will be having a negative charge over here. So it will be Na plus Cl minus or NaCl. Whereas in second case, magnesium has 2 valence electrons, so that will be transferred to each of the chlorine atom, 1 to this, 1 to this. Then it will be forming 2 positive charge, whereas each Cl atom will be having negative charge. Now that will be forming a chloride ion in each case, or we can say simply MgCl2. The third example is calcium oxides. Calcium is having 2 electrons in the outermost shell that will be transferred to oxygen atom, and that is Ca will be having 2 plus and oxygen will be having 2 minus, right? 2 minus, so it will be forming a compound CaO. Then coming to covalent or molecular bond. Now what do you mean by covalent bond? If we want to define it, it is the bond that is formed between 2 combining atoms by mutual sharing of 1 or more pair of electrons. That is, if the bond is formed between A and B, 2 atoms are there, so the electron pair, because each time it is being shared, so it becomes a pair. So the mutual sharing of 1 or more electrons, pair of electrons has to be done, then it is forming the type of bond which is called covalent bond, and each atom will be contributing same number of electrons. Suppose there will be a mutual sharing taking place between A and B. So if A is contributing its 3 electrons, then B also should have 3 electrons to be shared for the covalent bond to form. Now comes the how they are being transferred, how they are being formed, the electron dot structure. One example, hydrogen is having 1 electron, chlorine 7 electrons. So how the transfer is taking, how the sharing is taking place, that the shared pair of electron is shown in the center only, and then the complete. So this is how we know that this one, if we will be showing it by the same symbol, then we will not be able to distinguish which one is of hydrogen, which one is of chlorine. So just to distinguish between. So therefore we will be using different signs for each. Similarly, but in Cl both the atoms are same, so therefore we will be using same sign for electrons of both the atoms. Now, depending on the number of shared pair of electrons, we have 3 types of bonds which are being formed, which are single bond, double bond, triple bond, right? So single bond, when only one pair of electron is being shared, double bond when two pair of electrons are being shared, triple bond when three pair of electrons are shared. There can be a possibility where the combination of bonds are taking place, that is double bond and single bond in the same molecule, same compound, or maybe triple bond and a single bond in a one single compound. So now depending on the number of electrons it is sharing, that is what covalency is all about. So if they are sharing one pair of electron, covalency is 1. If they are sharing two pair of electrons, then it is covalency is 2, as in case of oxygen. If they are sharing three pair of electrons, then there will be covalency will be 3, as in case of nitrogen. If they are sharing four pair of electrons, then they will be having a covalency equals to 4, as in case of carbon. Now there are two types of covalent bonds. This is the types of covalent bonds. Now these are covalent compounds. These are type of covalent compounds: polar and non-polar and polar. If we talk about non-polar means that shared pair, because covalent compound is shared pair of electrons. Now shared pair of electrons, if it is equally distributed means that there is, if suppose this is one atom, this is another atom, and both of them are sharing, so the shared pair of electron is somewhere here in between. Not this pair is being shifted towards B or A, it is somewhere in between. Then it is a non-polar covalent compound. Whereas if we talk about polar covalent compound, then the shared pair of electrons are not at equal distance, they will be somewhat shifted towards one of the atom. Now how it is being understood that this polarity, that the compound are polar or non-polar, it depends on the electronegativity. So now electronegativity, as you have already studied in chapter 1, that electronegativity is the tendency to attract towards the shared pair of electron, that is electronegativity. So if the combining atoms, out of these combining atoms, one of them is having more electronegativity, that is it is having more tendency to attract towards the electron, then the shared pair of electron, then the shared pair of electron obviously will be pulled towards the more electronegative atom, right? So forming the polar compound. So this polarity depends on only one factor, that is electronegativity. That if one of them is more negative, having more electronegativity than the other, then they will be forming polar compounds. Whereas in the case where they both are having almost same electronegativity, then they will be forming non-polar covalent compounds. And what happens, the polar covalent compounds, they will be attaining, because the shared pair of electron is slightly shifted towards one of the atom which is more electronegative negative than the other. So it will be attaining a partial negative, which is towards which the electron pair is shifted, and we will show this arrow by the help of this arrow. Means that the electron pair is shifted towards chlorine, right? So it will be having a partial negative, not because it is not a complete transfer, so we will not show it by negative or positive, only partial negative or positive, because it is slightly shifted towards chlorine, whereas hydrogen being less electronegative, so therefore it will be having partial positive charge. And the molecules which are having both these slight positive as well as slight negative charge, they are called dipole molecule. And these dipole molecules when they are in solution, then what happens? By the process of ionization, they get converted into ions and get mixed, right? So depending on the electronegativity difference between the two atoms, we can say that if the same electronegativity is there, if the two atoms forming the bond have same electronegativity, then they will be nonpolar. Whereas if there is slight difference in the electronegativity, then they will be forming a polar compounds. If electronegativity difference is more than 1.7, they will be forming ionic compounds. And this thing I have already told about dipole molecule. Now coming to the conditions which are favoring the formation of covalent compounds. Now the very first condition is that we have already studied in the definition itself that it is the between the non-metals, non-metal and non-metal bond, the bond between the two non-metals, that is giving rise to this covalent compound. Now the very first statement says that both the atoms should have 4 or more electrons, right? The valence electron should be 4 or more than 4. That means it has they are non-metals, right? The second condition says that both the participating atoms should have high electronegativity. High electronegativity means that is more higher tendency to attract the shared pair of electrons towards itself, and if it is having a high tendency to share towards the have the higher tendency to attract the shared pair of electrons, that means it is having the attraction towards the electron as well, right? So that means that is nothing but the electron affinity. That means electron affinity should also be high of both the atoms which are participating. Then the fourth point, that is ionization energy should be very high. That means very difficult to form the ions, because if it is easy, if it is less, it will be easy to form the ions, and therefore we will not be achieving our purpose. So it has to be high ionization energy. That means very difficult to form the ion, that is to remove the electron. So therefore ionization energy should be high. Now talking about electronegativity difference. Now electronegativity of both the atoms should be high, that we have discussed. That is to a tendency to attract towards the shared pair of electrons should be high of both the atoms, but the electronegativity difference should be 0 or negligible, right? Suppose I'll give you one example. Carbon is having electronegativity as 2.5, hydrogen is having electronegativity somewhat 2.1. So now both their individually, if we talk about, electronegativity is high, so both are favoring covalent compound to be formed. But if we talk about the difference, this is the difference is somewhat 0.4, which is negligible, right? So we can neglect it somewhat 0 only. So that means it is favoring the covalent compound, covalent bond to be formed, right? So this is what is meant by electronegativity difference. Now the electron dot structure we have to write in two ways. First we will be discussing about non-polar, and then we will go for polar compounds. Before combination, it is again we will be writing the dot structure. So hydrogen have one valence electron. Then after combination, as it is a non-polar, so it will be the two pair of electrons will be shown like this in between, or just by the single bond HH or H2. Cl have 7. So first we will be showing before combination that it is having 7 electrons in both the cases. After combination, what happens? 6 electrons here, 1 here. So one pair of, this is the pair of electron which is being shared, and then the rest of the 6 electrons, or simply Cl single bond Cl or Cl2. That is what it is, single bond, because only one pair of electron is being shared. Now next is nitrogen. Nitrogen is having 5 valence electrons. So before combination, this is how we are going to show, and after combination, how many more electrons it require? It requires 3 more. So 3 will be shared. Now 3 will be shared. This is how they will be shared. So shared pair of electrons always written in this side where they are facing to each other, and rest on the rest of the side. Here we can write in both the cases, or simply we can write N triple bond N or N2. Similarly, if we talk about carbon tetrachloride, then again 4 electrons of carbon, 7 of chlorine, then one here, one here, one here, one here. So this is how we are showing it. CCl4, single bond, single bond. Now a CH4, if we talk about, it is C is having 4 electrons and valence electrons, one of hydrogen. So this is how the sharing is taking place. Now carbon has 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, hydrogen 1 2, hydrogen 1 2, hydrogen 1 2, right? So this is how we can write, or simply CH4. Now talking about polar compounds, before combination, oxygen being more electronegative, so it will be pulling the electron pair towards itself, so it will be somewhat away from hydrogen, and this is how, and we have shown 4 dots here because these two and these two are not being shared by the hydrogen atom, but if their octet of oxygen is completed, therefore this structure. Nitrogen, ammonia, if we are talking about nitrogen, again 5 3, it requires 1 from hydrogen, slightly away, and then this is how 2 are not being shared, so therefore now all 8 are there, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So I hope you all have understood. Thank you.